Gun control versus Marco Rubio's excuses. Gun control versus Marco Rubio's excuses. Thank you for tuning in to Laurel with the Black Political Buzz Network. Yesterday, Wednesday, February the 14th, 2018, Valentines Day for the year 2018, in Parkland, Florida, at a Parkland, Florida high school, a mass shooting occurred in which an angry 19-year-old young man named Nicholas Cruz shot up, murdered 17 innocent high school students using an AR-15 military-style rifle weapon. Another school shooting. You know, America, the good old USA, the beacon on a hill, the good old North America, USA, you know, the greatest country in the world, supposedly. The beacon on a hill, country, you know, that protects human rights. We have the most school shootings on planet Earth. America, North America, where we live, North America, where we live, has the most school shootings of any other country. We have more school shootings than Europe. We have more school shootings than Africa. We have more school shootings than Asia. We have more school shootings than any other country in the world. Yet, we don't have any gun control, any real stick to the ribs gun control laws in this nation, in this country. We have little lame background checks, little lame background checks full of loopholes. All the federal gun or weapon application background checks have loopholes in them. And for the right price, or if you know someone, or if you're the right race, you can slide through those loopholes. Now if you're a black, you won't. If you're a black, you have to meet the requirements to possess a weapon permit in this country. But if you're white or Asian, or you have some money, or if you're Hispanic and you look innocent, you can very easily get through a loophole for a background check to get a gun or a weapon permit in the good old USA. And that's what this 19-year-old young man, Nicholas Cruz, was able to do. Even though he had posted on his Instagram and Facebook pages very disturbing images and pictures of himself holding weapons, high-powered weapons and handguns, he was still able to go out there and get a permit to purchase an AR-15 rifle, a military-style rifle weapon. And yet, this mass murder, because it was a mass murder, it occurred in the home state of U.S. Senator Marco Rubio. You know Marco Rubio, with the baby face, member of the U.S. Senate. He made a speech today, the day after the massacre that occurred. And Marco Rubio said that gun control laws would not have prevented Nicholas Cruz from committing this heinous, evil act of murdering 17 high school students in cold blood. Marco Rubio said that if we had gun control laws in place, enacted and enforced by our federal government and by our states, that it still would not have prevented Nicholas Cruz from committing this evil, heinous act. How does Marco Rubio know that? Considering we don't have any real stick to the rib, substantive, we don't have any substantive, stick to the rib federal gun laws in this nation. How does Marco Rubio know that that a gun law, a real gun control law, would not have prevented Nicholas Cruz from getting or possessing an AR-15 rifle and committing this murder. Now, this murder by Nicholas Cruz was premeditated. It was premeditated. We love to throw around this mental ill mess. You know, whenever it is a Caucasian mass shooter, they say he's mentally ill. Whenever it's a Hispanic mass shooter, they want to say he's mentally ill. Whenever it's an Asian mass shooter, they want to say he's mentally ill. Whenever it's a Middle Eastern mass shooter, they want to say mentally ill. But when it's a black mass shooter, if it's a black mass shooter, especially if it's a black man who commits a mass shooting, they want to say he's a cold-blooded murderer who should die in hell, burn in hell, and they'll kill him. If you notice, they didn't kill Nicholas Cruz. The police did not shoot down and blow out the brains of Nicholas Cruz. Notice that. Like they would have done if he was black. If he had been a black young man, he would be dead today. He would not be alive today. But I'm glad the police didn't kill Nicholas Cruz. I repeat, I am glad the police did not kill Nicholas Cruz. You want to know why? Because now they can talk to him and interrogate him and ask him, who is he working with? Because you can't sit here and tell me that a 19-year-old young man in America was able to come up with that on his own. He did not come up with this heinous, evil act all on his own. Somebody motivated him. Someone influenced him. Someone influenced him. And how did he get the money to buy that weapon? Who gave him the money for that weapon? So now that Nicholas Cruz has been captured alive and charged with 17 counts of murder, and by the way, it should be premeditated murder, first degree. Premeditated murder, first degree, not second degree. First degree, premeditated. Now that he's been captured and charged with 17 counts of murder, they can ask him, who is he working with? Who influenced him? Who motivated him? Who gave him the money to buy that weapon, that AR-15 rifle? But for Marco Rubio to get up on a congressional floor in the U.S. Senate and say that we don't need gun control laws, after this heinous act of 17 murders at a Parkland high school occurred in his state, he's gonna say no gun control laws are needed. How? I'm at a loss for words. GOP leaders, I don't understand. You know, Marco Rubio is considered a GOP leader. He's a member of the Republican Party. GOP leader, member of the U.S. Senate. I do not understand the mentality. And I'm not anti-GOP. I am not anti-Republican. I'm not anti-government. But I am anti-mass shooting. I am anti-mass murder. I am anti when someone goes out and gets a weapon and blows everybody away. I'm against that. I am for human life. I repeat, I am for human life. But I am against mass murder. That's preventable with some gun control laws. And as I stated in a previous video, I am not suggesting that the federal government release the U.S. military to go out into American society and round up all our weapons. I'm not suggesting that. I'm not implying that the federal government officials release the U.S. military to go out and round up everybody's weapons in America. I am not suggesting that. I do not believe that you have to violate Second Amendment rights to enact gun control laws. I repeat, I do not believe Second Amendment rights have to be violated to enact some form of gun control laws in this nation, the USA. But some gun control laws are definitely needed. And for Marco Rubio for Marco Rubio to say that no gun control laws are needed, that we don't need any kind of gun control laws at all. I'm at a loss for words. I'm just like bewildered. I'm like, what? This occurred in your state, in your home state, Marco Rubio. And you're saying no gun control laws are needed. He stood on that floor for like 10 minutes and made excuses. Marco Rubio stood on the U.S. Senate floor today, Thursday, the day after the massacre occurred, the day after the mass murder occurred in his home state, and made excuses. Excuses for not enacting and not legislating gun control. I don't understand. Is the NRA paying y'all off? I mean, really? Is the NRA paying off the GOP leaders? I'm at a loss. Wow. When is enough enough? When is enough bloodshed enough? Are we that bloodthirsty of a nation to not care anymore? Have we become desensitized? Have our leaders in Congress become cold-hearted and just it doesn't bother them anymore? It didn't affect them anymore. Oh, another mass shooting. Oh, okay. Another mass shooting. Oh, okay. Another mass shooting. Oh, okay. Wow. So Marco Rubio, you can go home to your children. U.S. Senator Marco Rubio can go home to his children. Hug his children. They're still alive. Their bodies are still warm. But 17 cold bodies of 17 innocent high school students, they are lying in the morgue right now. Their parents can't hug them. Their parents can't hug them, Marco Rubio. They're dead. They're cold. Like your cold heart to say no gun control laws are needed. Wow. I'm just, wow. God help us if we think that nothing needs to be done about this and we can just ignore it like, oh wow, that's the norm in America. Another school shooting. Gun control laws versus Marco Rubio's excuses. Enough is enough. Thank you for tuning in to Laurel with the Black Political Buzz Network. Goodbye.